Hey everyone, and welcome to our deep dive today. We're really going to get real
Yeah.
about real talk. And we've got this awesome blog post called Real Talk, the Foundation of Genuine Success by Kenton Patterson, who's a forward thinker from New Zealand.
Yeah, he's got some pretty interesting ideas.
And we're going to kind of dig into this idea of why, being authentic is so key to having real lasting success.
Absolutely.
You know how sometimes you feel like you're walking on eggshells
Oh, yeah.
when you're communicating with people?
Oh, yeah.
You want to present this, perfect image.
Right.
But Ken's like, no, ditch the filters. Let's get real.
Yeah, I think what's fascinating about his approach is that he really tackles this head on, this idea that, we're in this world where everyone is curating their online persona.
Right.
And it makes it really hard to actually have real conversations.
So, when we say real talk, what do we even mean?
Right.
What is he talking about?
Yeah, so he really defines this. He doesn't just throw the term around. He defines it as honest, open, and direct communication.
Okay, so it's not brutal honesty.
Right. It's not about just being mean to people.
Yeah.
It's about finding that balance between honesty and tact. So you're still being respectful.
Yeah.
But you're having those tough conversations. You're addressing things head on.
Okay, so it's if you were giving feedback to a colleague,
Exactly.
you would be honest about where they could improve, but also acknowledge their strengths.
Right.
And offer support.
Exactly.
So why? Why is this real talk thing so important?
So the payoff is huge. When you're having real talk with people, you build trust. And that trust leads to better outcomes in every area of your life.
Oh, that makes sense.
Think about it if you're working on a project with a team and you're feeling a little unsure about something, instead of pretending that everything's fine, you admit to your team,
Yeah.
hey, I'm not really sure about this aspect. What do you guys think? And then suddenly everyone can bring their expertise to the table and you come up with a better solution.
That's a great example.
Yeah.
That vulnerability actually sparks collaboration.
Yeah, it creates this environment where people feel safe to speak up.
I like that. So Kenton also talks about how authenticity is the foundation
Yes.
for strong leadership.
Yeah.
What does that even look like?
So it means that your actions align with your values. Imagine a leader who's always saying, oh, we value work-life balance.
All right.
But then they're sending emails at all hours of the night. Their words and their actions don't match.
Yeah.
And so authenticity is about walking the talk, being true to yourself and inspiring others to do the same.
So I've always struggled with this idea of vulnerability. I tend to see it as a weakness. But Kenton's no, it's a strength.
He's flipping the script on us.
Right.
Right? He's challenging that traditional idea that vulnerability is a weakness.
How?
So think back to that example of the leader who admits that they're unsure about something. That act of vulnerability creates a ripple effect. It encourages other people to be vulnerable as well. It fosters empathy. It builds trust.
So it makes the team stronger.
Exactly. It makes the team more resilient.
Okay, that's interesting. So we've talked about authenticity, vulnerability.
Yeah.
How does self-awareness tie into all of this?
It's all connected. Real talk forces us to confront our weaknesses.
Yeah.
Because we're not putting on a show for other people. We're being honest with ourselves
Yeah.
about where we need to grow.
So for example,
Yeah.
let's say you've always wanted to start a business,
Yeah.
but you're too scared to actually do it.
That's a great example. Real talk means acknowledging that fear and then examining it. Why are you afraid? What are the root causes of that fear? And then making a conscious decision to move forward in spite of it.
So it's instead of ignoring those difficult emotions, you're actually using them
Yes.
as fuel.
To propel you forward.
Yeah, to grow. That's a totally different way.
It's a mindset shift. It's about seeing challenges as opportunities.
And that growth mindset
Yes.
is also super important
Absolutely.
when it comes to getting feedback from other people.
Especially constructive criticism.
Yeah.
When you're practicing real talk, you're open to hearing what other people have to say, even if it's not always easy to hear.
You know what this reminds me of? One time I got some really harsh feedback from a mentor.
Mm-hmm.
And at first I was so defensive.
Oh, yeah.
But then I was she's actually right. And it was a turning point in my career.
Yeah.
If I hadn't been open to that real talk, I would have missed out on
Right.
a huge opportunity for growth.
That's such a good point. It's so easy to get defensive when we receive feedback. But when we can shift our perspective and see it as a chance to learn and improve, it can be so powerful.
I love that. So Kenton ends his post with this really powerful statement. He's the future belongs to those who speak their truth and act on it.
Such a powerful message.
What does that mean for our listeners?
It's a call to action. It's a challenge to step into our authenticity,
Mm.
to embrace vulnerability, and to use feedback as fuel for growth. It's about recognizing the power we all have to create positive change through real, honest connection.
This deep dive has been so insightful. I'm so glad we had this conversation.
Me too.
So as you all move forward today, think about this. How can you apply real talks
Yeah.
in your own lives to achieve more success and fulfillment? Think about your work, your relationships, even the way you talk to yourself. Where can you inject a little more honesty and authenticity?
That's the question.
Yeah. Awesome. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.